Hello, friends. Welcome to Anuj's Brainwaves.
All right, you know that feeling, don't you? Your phone buzzes, unknown number flashes up, and like for a split second, your mind just races. Is this actually important? Maybe someone I know just didn't save the number. Or is it? Ugh, that relentless spammer again. Or worse, right? Some sophisticated fraudster just waiting to ruin your day, maybe even steal your money. We've all done it. Picked up and instantly regretted it. Some robot voice or this like overly friendly scam artist starts their pitch. It's more than annoying. It feels like an invasion.
Oh, absolutely. It's a universal frustration, truly. And it's just become so pervasive. I mean, the sheer volume of these unwanted calls, for so many of us, it makes our phones feel less like, a connection tool and more like a constant source of irritation and potential scams.
I couldn't agree more, yeah. And that's exactly why today's deep dive is so crucial, because there's some genuinely groundbreaking news coming out of India. The government has actually launched a pilot project for a brand new system. Get this. It could automatically show the name of those unknown callers. Imagine that. No more guessing, no more playing phone roulette.
It is a pretty big deal.
Yeah,
aiming to tackle, a major digital security and, frankly, privacy issue head on.
Exactly. And that's our mission today. We're going to unpack this potentially game-changing initiative, look at the benefits they're hoping for, but also the surprising challenges. Telecom companies, privacy advocates, they're already raising flags. We'll also dig into how your number even ends up with these spammers. How does that happen? And ultimately, what does all this mean for you, for your daily digital life, your security? Let's dive in.
Okay, so first off, why is this even needed? Why now? Well, the problem we're facing, it's just immense. In India, there's this staggering statistic. Over 65% of all unknown incoming numbers are actually spam calls.
65%, wow.
Yeah, more than 2/3 of those mystery calls. Unsolicited, often malicious. It's like a daily flood.
Okay, that explains why we're all so jumpy about unknown numbers then. But it sounds like these spammers, they're not standing still. They're constantly kind of upping their game. How are their tactics changing to get past our defenses?
They absolutely have. They've gotten quite cunning, actually, at bypassing that natural caution we all have. So, for instance, they often use numbers that look exactly like personal contacts, starting with a 9 series or just a standard 10-digit mobile number.
Ah, so it doesn't scream telemarketer.
Precisely. It looks less like a generic company call, which you might expect to start with, like 1400 or 1800. It's designed specifically to trick you into picking up.
Okay, so you're more likely to answer. Sneaky. And then what? Once they have you on the line, how do they draw you in?
Well, here's another clever bit.
Oh, yeah.
They don't always jump straight into the pitch. Often they'll kind of feign familiarity. Start with a really casual, "How are you?" Or, "Hello, sir, how are you doing?" Just to build a little trust.
Oh, that disarms you immediately.
Exactly. You're lulled into thinking maybe it's someone I know, an old acquaintance. And that just makes you more receptive when they finally get to the scam part. They soften you up first.
That's insidious. Can you walk us through maybe a real-world example? How these complex scams actually play out?
Sure, let's paint a picture. A scammer calls, right? Pretends to be from a known company. Let's say Max Life, about an insurance policy. Now, to establish credibility, they'll often confirm some basic details about you. Your address, phone number, email.
Stuff that's probably out there already, unfortunately.
Disturbingly, yes.
Yeah.
Often publicly available, or maybe from a minor data breach somewhere. But hearing it confirmed makes you think, wow, okay, they know my details, they must be legit.
That's terrifyingly effective. Yeah, your guard just drops.
Instantly. And once they have that initial trust, then they push for immediate action. Usually with some made-up urgency and a tempting offer. They might say, "Oh, your policy's due for renewal, but hey, act right now," and you get a huge discount.
Right.
Maybe a $25,000 premium for just $15,000.
A deal too good to be true, basically.
Often, yes. And they might even send you a link to a fake website that looks really convincing. They'll say, "Oh, you can pay securely here. No need to share OTPs," making it sound even safer. But the moment you enter your details, boom, they secretly drain your money.
And the financial hit from these scams, I mean, it's just devastating, isn't it? We're not talking pocket change.
Not at all. The numbers are truly, truly staggering. Some reports show that 45% of victims of AI fraud calls specifically lost over 50,000 rupees.
Wow.
And another recent figure for 2024 suggests a reported 25 crore was lost to fraud already this year. But what's even more horrifying are these stories emerging. People from India being taken, sometimes tricked, sometimes trafficked, to places like Cambodia.
Wait, what? For what?
For cyber slavery. Forced to make these exact kinds of fraudulent calls.
That's unbelievable that this is connected to the nuisance calls we get.
It really puts the scale into perspective. This isn't just about individual financial loss. It points to these huge organized crime rackets. And it shows our current systems are struggling to keep up, which really highlights why government intervention feels so necessary.
Absolutely. That makes the government's concern crystal clear. It's not just annoyance, it's massive organized fraud.
Exactly. And that pervasive, damaging fraud is the real engine behind this government push.
Which brings us neatly to the proposed solution, calling name presentation, CNAP for short. The core idea sounds simple enough. Unknown numbers will automatically show the caller's name, potentially making third-party apps like TrueCaller maybe less necessary.
That's the fundamental concept, yes. And the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, TRAI, the main telecom watchdog, they've been working on this since 2022. So it's been in the pipeline. They've already started a pilot project in a couple of key areas, Haryana and Mumbai, to test it out.
Okay, so it's actually happening, being tested.
It is. And the big picture goal here is to make India's telecom network, which, by the way, has the second highest number of users globally, significantly safer, more secure for you, the user.
Right, so it's about putting the power back in your hands, essentially, letting you decide whether to pick up based on who is actually calling, whether it's someone offering a loan or credit card, whatever. It adds that layer of transparency that's just been missing.
Exactly. It's designed to empower you to make an informed choice before you even answer, like a proactive shield against these unwanted, often fraudulent calls.
Okay, let's unpack this though. Because knowing who's calling sounds great on paper, fantastic even. But implementing something this huge, it can't be as simple as just flipping a switch, right? What are the immediate hurdles? Especially for the telecom company.
You're absolutely right. It's far from simple. Currently, telecom operators, they basically just connect phone numbers. They're like the pipes. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. For CNAP to work, they won't just send the number. They'll need to transmit the caller's name data, too, across different networks.
Whoa, wait. So if I'm on Airtel and someone calls me from, say, Vodafone, Airtel needs to instantly know the Vodafone user's name. That sounds like a massive real-time data lookup problem.
It is, on a colossal scale. And the operators, they're voicing significant concerns about, latency, slower data transfers. Imagine the lag, right? If huge amounts of name data need to be looked up and sent with every single call, especially for a giant operator like Jio, handling just an immense volume of calls every second. It's a big technical challenge. Could impact call quality, connection times.
Okay, that makes sense. The plumbing gets more complicated. But beyond the technical stuff, what's the real fear here for these companies? It feels like there's something deeper.
Yeah, and this really gets to the heart of it. What does this all mean for them strategically? For the telcos, the biggest worry isn't just the tech side. It's fundamentally about privacy. And what some are calling data giri, basically a battle for data dominance.
Data giri, explain that.
Well, think about it. If every telecom company suddenly gets access to the name and number of every single user calling their subscribers, they'll quickly build up these enormous databases of their competitors' users.
So Airtel would have a list of Vodafone users calling Airtel numbers and vice versa.
Exactly. It's not just a technical issue then. It becomes this massive data power struggle. Who owns the user data? Who gets to see it?
I can definitely see why that would be a huge point of contention between them.
Right. And it leads directly to another major concern, public data exposure. What happens if this huge database names, tied to numbers, held by multiple companies, maybe even a central government system, what if it becomes vulnerable to misuse or even gets sold? It could make your personal data even more public than it already is. Potential for huge privacy breaches down the line.
And thinking about individual privacy, you mentioned something called reverse lookup risk. What does that mean for us day to day?
Yes, that's a really critical point. Currently, some apps, like TrueCaller's premium version, let you search for a number to see who it belongs to. Now, if official government-verified names get tied to every single number through CNIP, it raises this serious worry that numbers of people who really value their privacy think journalists, activists, even high-profile public figures like the Prime Minister could suddenly become easily discoverable just by searching their name.
You could potentially find almost anyone's number.
That's the fear. It could lead to a really significant, maybe unprecedented privacy breach, far beyond what we see today.
That is a chilling thought. So, if CNAP is trying to protect us, it really begs the question, how do our numbers, this sensitive data, end up with spammers in the first place? We all try to be careful, really, but they always seem to find us.
It's a great question, and the pathways are often, well, unsuspecting. Think about just everyday things. Going to the movies, you give your number for an OTP ticket. Maybe they say it's saving paper.
Yeah, happens all the time.
Or you buy something in a shop, they ask for your number for the bill or the warranty. Frame it as protection in case the product is defective.
Right, for customer service.
Or just logging into websites, apps, entering your number for that OTP verification to access a service. Seems harmless.
So all these little interactions, they're basically feeding this giant data funnel we're kind of unknowingly contributing.
Precisely. All this data collected from countless sources gets pooled together into these vast databases. These databases then get centralized, copied, shared, sometimes even sold internationally, and then they use it to target you based on your habits. If you watch movies, buy certain things, use specific apps, it all paints a picture. Makes you a prime target for scams that are tailored to you, making them much more likely to succeed because they feel relevant.
Okay, that explains a lot. Now, what's fascinating here, you mentioned the government is exploring several different technical ways this CNAP service could actually work. It's not just one plan.
That's right. And it makes sense, given how complex it is, with all the concerns we've talked about. They're looking at sort of the best way to build this engine, trying to balance efficiency with privacy and security. There seem to be four main models on the table.
Okay, what are they?
First, each telecom company maintains its own database of its subscribers' names, and then they share it directly with the other companies when needed.
Like peer-to-peer sharing between rivals.
Kind of. But this is seen as pretty unlikely. You'd likely get voice lag delays during call setup. Plus, getting fierce competitors to cooperate and share their valuable customer data directly, probably not going to happen smoothly.
Yeah, I can see that being a roadblock. What's option 2?
Option 2 is probably the most straightforward, operationally speaking. A single, national, centralized database. Secured by the government, holding all the names and numbers, everyone just queries this one central point. This avoids the telcos having to constantly exchange huge amounts of private data with each other.
A government master list.
Right.
Sounds efficient, yeah. But like you said, maybe raises bigger questions about centralizing all that risk if that database gets compromised.
Indeed. That's the trade-off. It creates a single high-value target. Okay, Model 3 is where the telecom operator or the person making the call shares their CNAP data directly with the operator receiving the call.
So the caller's network pushes the name out with the call.
Kind of, yeah. A more direct, perhaps call-by-call sharing between the two operators involved in that specific call.
Okay, and the fourth model?
The fourth idea is a bit of a hybrid. You establish a central database, but then synchronized copies of this database are distributed out to each telecom operator. So they have local copies to query.
Best of both worlds, maybe. Central management, but local access for speed?
Potentially. It might reduce latency compared to querying one central point for every call, but still involves distributing that sensitive data widely. Look, each model has its pros and cons, right? Efficiency, cost, technical feasibility, and crucially, security and privacy. It's a really complex balancing act they're trying to figure out.
It's good to know they're thinking through all these different angles, the technical nuts and bolts, but, beyond CNAP, beyond prevention, the government isn't just focused on stopping the calls. They've also provided a tool for recourse, right? Something people can actually use if they get targeted. The TalkShoe website.
Yes, and that's a really vital piece of the puzzle. It's a safety net. It's a direct line of defense for you, the user. If you ever get a suspicious call or an SMS, even a WhatsApp message, anything related to cybercrime or financial fraud, you can go directly to the TalkShoe website and file a complaint. It's a significant effort by the Ministry of Telecommunications to give people an official channel. Report it, help track it, fight back. It empowers you.
Definitely something everyone should be aware of. TalkShoe. Got it. So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, it really boils down to this ongoing tension, doesn't it? Between wanting personal security, wanting the convenience technology gives us, and these inherent challenges around privacy in our super connected world. It's a fascinating tightrope.
It really is. This whole CNAP initiative, it aims to bring some much-needed transparency to our phones, absolutely. But it also throws these complex trade-offs into really sharp relief. And for you listening, it raises this important question, I think. In our efforts to fight back against fraud, against information overload, how much data sharing are we comfortable with? How much centralized control? And how do we strike that right balance between the desire for protection, which is real, and our fundamental right to privacy? Yeah. It's a question that's only going to get more relevant, more pressing as technology keeps racing ahead.